A solitary wooden cottage stands weathered and worn, a stark testament to isolation at the forest's ominous edge. In the dim cottage, Hansel and Gretel huddle, shadows dancing wildly around them as they strain to listen. Fear etches deep lines on their small faces, illuminated by the flickering oil lamp's weak glow. The children listen at the door, trying to discern their parents' hushed, grave tones. They overhear their stepmother suggesting they can't afford to feed them. A voice whispers. Sunlight dapples the forest floor as the family walks deeper into the woods, unaware of the subtle drama unfolding. Hansel's nimble fingers scatter small white stones, a secret trail against the verdant backdrop. His parents, lost in conversation, fail to notice Hansel's careful preparations. Ancient trees cast long, ominous shadows, a stark contrast to the beauty of the sunlit forest. The forest's dual nature, beautiful yet menacing, sets the stage for an unfolding tale. Hansel and Gretel are lost. The dark forest surrounds them, a silent, looming threat under the moonless sky. Their faces, pale with fear and hunger, reflect the desperate situation as shadows dance around them. Hansel's voice cuts through the night, a fragile promise. Don't worry, Gretel. Follow the stones. Gretel clutches Hansel's hand, her eyes searching for the glimmer of hope in the stones scattered on the forest floor. Moonlight paints the forest path, ethereal light guiding Hansel and Gretel through the silent woods. White stones gleam like fallen stars, marking their weary journey home with a gentle, hopeful glow. Relief softens their small faces as each step echoes with the promise of returning to their cottage. They huddle closer, their shared warmth a shield against the lingering shadows and forgotten fears. Days later, the parents guide Hansel and Gretel into the dense forest, shadows playing among the trees. Unseen, Hansel scatters breadcrumbs, a fragile trail of hope against the dark woods. A flurry of wings and beaks descends, the crumbs vanishing into the forest floor. Hansel turns back, his face etched with dismay as the last of his markers disappear. In the inky black of night, Hansel and Gretel are swallowed by the deep forest, their small figures stark against looming trees. Each rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, sharpens their terror. The forest alive, with unseen eyes. Their faces, pale with fear, reflect the faint moonlight filtering through the dense canopy above. Lost, alone, they stumble on, the weight of the forest pressing in, a tangible force of despair. Before them, a fantastical candy house shimmers, its vibrant colors a stark contrast to the woods. Their eyes widen, hunger battling disbelief at the sugary mirage. Hope flickers as they approach the edible haven, unaware of the danger within. His eyes gleam with delight as he eagerly devours the sweet treat. In their shared indulgence, a fleeting moment of joy shines through amidst the looming forest. The candy house door creaks, a deceptive portal to sugary dreams and hidden unease. An old woman appears, her wrinkled face softened by a disarming, kind smile. She gestures invitingly, beckoning towards the vibrant, candy-scented interior. The air is thick with the aroma of sweets, a siren song luring innocence closer. An old woman smiles kindly, offering Hansel and Gretel overflowing plates. A deceptive feeling of safety hangs heavy in the air. Her eyes glint with malevolence, a silent promise of dark intentions in the candy house. Hansel is shoved into a rusty cage, the bars clanging shut, sealing his fate in iron. Gretel watches, fear paralyzing her as the old woman points to a mountain of dirty dishes. Inside the candy house, Gretel attacks a pot with fierce scrubbing, her eyes flickering towards Hansel in his cage. Sunlight paints the gingerbread windows, highlighting the dust motes dancing in the air. Gretel glances at the witch, a gnarled figure stirring a bubbling cauldron, her eyes sharp. The witch's gaze is calculating as she watches Gretel. Gretel subtly nods to Hansel, a silent promise of freedom flickering in her determined eyes. Hansel watches, hope flickering in his eyes. Inside the candy house, The air is thick with gingerbread as a gnarled witch looms over a cauldron, her face a roadmap of wrinkles. Hansel, small and wiry, stands frozen, his eyes wide with apprehension under the witch's piercing gaze. "Show me your finger, boy." The witch cackles, her voice like nails on a chalkboard. "Let me see if you're plump enough." With a sly glint, Hansel extends a hand, but instead of his finger, he presents a thin, white chicken bone. Inside the candy house, the witch's face twists in frustration, her gaze fixed on Hansel with calculating intensity. The colorful candy house becomes a stage for impending horror, its sweetness masking deadly intent. Inside the candy house, an elderly witch gestures mysteriously towards a looming brick oven. A subtle shift in her stance reveals her eagerness to demonstrate a hidden point. Inside the vibrant candy house, Gretel's eyes reflect fear and resolve as she prepares to confront the unsuspecting witch. With surprising strength, Gretel shoves the witch toward the open oven, her cackle turning into a piercing shriek. Gretel, face flushed, races to Hansel's cage, her small hands trembling with urgency. Adrenaline surges as she fumbles with the lock, a desperate hope blazing in her eyes. The cage door swings open with a click, and Hansel stumbles out, gaunt but alive. Relief floods them as they collapse into each other's arms, a haven found. Joy and liberation fill the candy house as they embrace, their faces buried in each other. Inside the candy house, Hansel and Gretel gape at a treasure chest, its contents glittering like a dream. Sunlight floods through gingerbread windows, casting a golden glow on the overflowing hoard of coins and jewels. They exchange excited glances, a silent pact forming between them in the face of such unimaginable wealth. Hansel whispers in disbelief, his voice filled with awe. "We can't believe our eyes!" Gretel, her eyes gleaming with determination, declares, "We have to take as much as we can carry." Hansel's voice is filled with hopeful wonder. "This will change our lives forever." Sunlight filters through the dense canopy as Hansel and Gretel venture deeper into the woods. Hand in hand, they navigate the winding forest path, their hope growing with each step. The trees stand as silent guardians, casting long shadows that dance around the children. Each familiar landmark rekindles memories, guiding them through the once menacing woods. A newfound confidence shines in their eyes, their bond strengthening with every shared glance. The forest, once a symbol of fear, now whispers promises of reunion and safety. Hansel and Gretel stumble from the forest's dark embrace, blinking in the sudden, brilliant sunlight. A beacon of hope flickers in the distance, their cottage, small against the towering trees. With renewed vigor, they begin to run, their tiny legs a blur against the forest floor. Anticipation paints their faces as they race towards home, their hearts pounding with each stride. Hansel and Gretel finally reach their cottage, the end of their long journey in sight. Their father bursts from the cottage, his face etched with relief and disbelief. He rushes towards them, his arms outstretched in a desperate embrace. Tears stream down his weathered cheeks as he pulls them into a tight hug. The cottage glows, hearthlight painting warmth on reunited faces. Gone is the gnawing hunger, replaced by a palpable sense of security. The treasure's comfort weaves through the air, tangible and sweet. Inside the cozy cottage, a fire crackles, casting a warm, inviting glow on the faces of Hansel and Gretel. Memories of their recent adventure dance in their expressions, lighting up the room. The cottage radiates comfort, each corner filled with the palpable warmth of familial love.